All right, it's 8:37 on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM WVON. Hey, you guys have been hearing me talk about for years about access to capital and all of the small business people out there and aspiring business people out there who want to get their hands and need a partner in the community to provide us with access to this capital, right? We've talked about how the small business community on the south and west side, the African-American community thrives off of what? The small businessman. And that relationship with a bank has to exist in a very strong way in order for us to jumpstart our economy. You know, I talk all the time about what we can do if we just put our minds to it and rely on each other. Well, in doing that, a part of that equation is having a financial institution that says, yes, you can, and yes, we are here to help you do that. U.S. Capital Bank is here to do us. This segment, 8:30, that we're going to do every Thursday in the month of June, is entitled Quest for Capital for a good reason. Quest for Capital is what we need. We need to be focused on it, and we need a partner that's going to help us focus on this and explain exactly how we can get access to capital. Eva Brown is in the studio with me. Her and I have talked about this before, Vice President of Government and Community Relations and the Regional Community Development Manager for the Great Lakes region of U.S. Bank. Eva has worked with company groups, nonprofits, elected officials, and government agencies in the Chicagoland area to position the bank as a leader in the community, as well as to focus U.S. Bank's lending, giving, investments, and volunteer efforts where those resources are needed the most. And needless to say, Eva, the south and west sides of Chicago would qualify those areas that need it the most. Welcome to WVON. And tell me, what was the inspiration behind U.S. Bank saying, hey, WVON, we're in?
So thanks, Matt, for that introduction. But as we were driving into the station, you said something really critical. One of the big components of the success of a small business has to do with access to capital. So that's why we decided to put together the series. We understand that a thriving small business and entrepreneurial scene can have a tremendous impact on the community. Financial education is a critical component to getting this type of culture off the ground. So U.S. Bank, we believe it's our role and responsibility to educate and advise business owners, whether they're trying to start their company or maybe thinking about transitioning it to the next generation. And in Chicago, it's fortunate enough to have tremendous nonprofit organizations like Chicago Neighborhood Initiatives Microfinance Group, as well as the Greater Inglewood Development Corporation, to talk about education about small business as well as getting capital into the small business owner's hands. So I want to thank everyone for listening into the Quest of Capital and wish them best of luck on their journey. And I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Erica King, who's the Vice President of Lending for Chicago Neighborhood Initiatives Microfinance Group.
And Erica has over 15 years of experience in small business lending and entrepreneurial financial counseling. And Erica, we need a lot of counseling out here. Well, let me put it. Counseling is needed and required. And one of the things that I think a lot of small black businesses do is they just kind of go in with an idea, with a concept, and like, I got a business idea and let's just go for it. But what you guys are offering is like, hey, look, strategy, here's some recommendations, this is how you can get it done, right?
Absolutely. I work for Chicago Neighborhood Initiatives Microfinance Group, and we are so excited to have U.S. Bank sponsor this effort to talk with our entrepreneurs about how to get fit and stay fit for their quest to obtain capital. The Chicago Neighborhood Initiatives Microfinance Group, we provide emerging and small businesses with loans up to $50,000.
Yes. We need that.
Absolutely.
That's a good way to start. 50, well, that'll get you started, right?
Those entrepreneurs that may be too small or may have some imperfect credit scores, we want to cater to that business community, that community that needs a chance, that have great ideas, have thriving businesses that they've been operating in their communities. We want to be that tool, that asset to support those communities and those business owners. We focus on low to moderate income neighborhoods throughout the city of Chicago, as well as the surrounding suburbs. So we are excited to be here to talk about the quest for capital. We know that sometimes accessing capital can be deemed as a venture, a journey, and we want to provide the tools to you today to get fit and stay fit on that quest. we have developed a program where we want to provide some tools. We want to also provide you with some cash. We know businesses, the first thing they ask for, where is the money?
Show me the money.
Show me the money.
And to be clear, microfinance means we're not going to capitalize your entire, but this helps you get your dream going,
yes,
right?
Absolutely. So during this 4-week series that we'll be hosting, we're going to provide a variety of tools for those business owners to get and stay fit. And at the end of the 4 series, we would like to reward an existing business as well as an emerging startup business with cash rewards up to $2,500. So we will be encouraging everyone to go on to WVON's website, sign in, submit an application to become one of our finalists to be selected for cash rewards up to $25,000. Now, $2,500. Now, $25,000 is great too. We'd love to help you out with that as well.
Yeah, no doubt. And so it's good. And I know the city, and we've had the mayor on the show several times. He talks about microfinancing and how that helps people get it off the ground. Because look, when you go in, when you start a business, one of the things I've heard people say is you do not want to undercapitalize, right? Because there are some problems down the road, and you might think like, hey, this is where I am, this is all I need, but they just want to make sure, and kind of what you guys do is kind of counsel in that process, make sure that you are thinking this all the way out. You're going to have your payroll, and then, some unexpected things might come up, and I see Rachel nodding her head, and she's a business owner, and we're going to talk to Rachel in a minute here, because I'm sure her experience is going to be invaluable. But the microfinancing helps people start off, business planning, all of that is necessary, right?
Absolutely. We work very well with our partners, one in particular, the Greater Englewood Community Development Corporation. We have Glenn Fulton here, who's representing that organization. They are instrumental in assisting our small businesses with writing business plans. And Glenn is going to tell you a little bit about his organization and what they offer to you.
All right, Glenn. Good morning to Glenn, native of Englewood. So, brother, you talk about neighborhoods that need this kind of economic jolt. Obviously, you living in Englewood, man, you see it from the ground up, and all the needs in that community.
Well, I was born in Englewood. I live in Englewood. I came back to Englewood after 30 years of being out there in the corporate world. So I also work in Englewood. My office is in the U.S. Bank building on 63rd and Halsted. So one of the things that the Greater Englewood Community Development Corporation thought was that we need to spur some type of economic development. We need to spur some type of activity with small businesses. And if you're familiar with Englewood, at one time it was the second largest shopping district outside of downtown Chicago.
Brother. Absolutely.
And now that honor belongs to Pilsen. But what really drove that was the small businesses that were there around that community. So a lot of people think back to that Sears that was sitting on the corner and all those small businesses that were there. What we're trying to do is try to work with small businesses like Rachel, who's sitting next to me, who has a small business, who's young, who at 27 years old is thinking about, how do I move my business forward? And all that starts with a business plan. So a business plan is basically, if you're building a house, it's the blueprint, it's the game plan, it's the foundation that you're going to look at. And a lender is going to look at that and say, okay, do you have a sustainability model? Meaning that if you're going to be baking cakes, are you going to be making money baking those cakes so that you can pay my money back? So that's pretty much what it's all about. But just a little bit about the Greater Englewood Community Development Corporation. We met Rachel through a small business workshop series that we did with Whole Foods. As everyone knows, Whole Foods is coming over to Englewood. They're building a beautiful 18,000 square foot store over there. I had a meeting with their CEO, Walter Robb, and he asked me what was it that I wanted in regards to them helping the community. And I said there's two things. One, we need to make sure that small businesses have an impact or are involved in this. And the second thing is we need to have diverse suppliers. And so his commitment to that was we did a small business workshop series. It was 3 series. The first one, we talked about business plans. We talked about licensing. We talked about permitting. The second one, we talked about packaging, stock kept units, UPC codes, all those things. And then the last one we had, we pretty much let Whole Foods talk about how do you do business with Whole Foods. And it was at that event that we had some of our suppliers talk one-on-one with buyers from Whole Foods, their category managers. Rachel was one of those guys. Good. She came out, had a display of her products. bakery goods. They were beautiful. They came in different types of makeup as far as the designs were concerned. The mayor was there, and he kind of said, hey, I like this. Rachel sat down, presented to Whole Foods what her business plan was and what her thoughts are, and they loved her. And so now she is looking at closing her deal with them and putting her products in their stores. And I think it's a success story. And that's what we're looking for. That's what the economic development strategy is about. That's what helping small businesses is about. And that's what Greater Englewood is about.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk to Rachel because I think it's important that Rachel is here so that we can talk to an entrepreneur. And because a lot of the listeners out there, they really want to know, how do I go from idea to having a product in the store? How do I go from idea to getting finance to business cards and I've got a business and I'm able to provide jobs, whether it's 1 or 2 jobs, but I'm able to put a product on the shelf, or I'm able to open up a dry cleaners, or I'm able to open up, in Englewood, they used to have Flag Brothers shoes, man. I bought a pair of platforms there when I was a kid.
I got my platforms from there for the prom in 1977, so I know what you're talking about.
Bring Flag Brothers back to Englewood.
Absolutely.
All of that, no, we're going to talk to Rachel when we return. 848 WVON. Quest for Capital brought to you by U.S. Bank will return. Doma T, traffic and weather coming up next.
More with Matt McGill right after our traffic and weather now. Coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The Taste of WVON is Saturday, July 18th. If you're a food vendor or would like to display your goods and services in front of more than 15,000 people, call us at 773-336-3439. 773-336-3439 or visit WVON.com and click the Taste Vendor banner. Be a part of the fastest growing festival in Chicago and get a taste of WVON.
June is Black Music Month. And today on Lady Soul, we're featuring Lettucey.
People just don't know what I'm about. They haven't seen what's there behind my smile.
Every day I tell myself I'm beautiful because the world says something different. I put those affirmations to remind myself and to remind others, you are beautiful as you are.
Visit WVON.com to download today's Lady Soul podcast. Lady Soul is powered by Comcast.
But that don't change the happiness I found.
You got the camera on? That's got to be an F4.
No, man, now. Pull over. That's an F5. Go. I want to get this.
Oh, that photo cloud's getting bigger by the second. That twister is huge.
Whoa, what was that?
It's the National Guard. They're probably headed into town.
Man, I bet that place is in trouble.
The National Guard is a unique force. Citizen soldiers who are just as prepared and committed to do battle with nature here at home in our communities as they are against the enemies of our nation. These are your neighbors, men and women who work or go to college, have families, hobbies, live life to the fullest. They train part-time, close to home, and they are always ready.
More of them! Man, those guys are crazy heading into that stuff.
Hey, that's what the Guard does.
Do you have what it takes to head into the heart of the storm? Check out NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Illinois National Guard. Aired by the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
This traffic report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life. While many rose up with violence, he sat down for peace. Mahatma Gandhi reached out with the strength he cultivated within his soul. Soul, pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
WVON, traffic and weather now.
Heading inbound on I-57, we're seeing delays between 111th and the Dan Ryan merge. That's still a 30-minute trip inbound on I-57. There was an earlier accident eastbound on I-80 causing issues between River Road and I-55. That crash has been cleared away now, but again, you may still see some lingering delays. If you're heading inbound on the Bishop Ford, traffic tight 130th to the Dan Ryan, a 30-minute trip inbound. The Dan Ryan heavy from 47th all the way to the Burn Circle interchange. That's a 30-minute trip inbound. Outbound Dan Ryan slow from 71st to 75th due to an accident currently blocking the left lane. Be mindful of that. Traveling on the Stevenson, 45 coming in, 36 out. Inbound Ike about 45 minutes, heavy from 17th to Independence. Outbound Ike heavy central to Des Plaines. And the Kennedy is going to be 33 minutes in the locals. Express lanes are about 20. and the outbound community about 30. Today's high, 82 degrees. Very warm out there today with the low near 63, 69 right now. That's a look at our traffic and weather now. I'm Doma T. Pungo, 1690 WVON.
The Commentators. Weekdays at 9:20 a.m. and 5:20 p.m.
And because you asked for it, now at 11:55 p.m.
Only on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
People keep asking about this glow I seem to have, 'cause I'm just not the same.
All right, all day today, guys, as we celebrate Black Music Month, our feature for this month, Ladies of Soul. Today you're going to be hearing Lettucey all day long. Not a bad song yet, Ray. This is number 10, I think you played.
That's right. Well, it's impossible to pick a bad Lettucey song.
I agree with you 100%. You're listening to Quest for Capital, brought to you by U.S. Bank. Every Thursday in June, guys, at 8:30, we're going to be talking about you. And when I say you, I'm talking about the WVON listener on the south and west sides of Chicago and how you can partner with U.S. Bank and make your dream, your reality come true, and just hard work. We're talking about people that have the entrepreneurial spirit out there, and also for businesses that exist already and have had bad experiences at other banks, and you know that you have a good business and you just need some guidance, some restructuring, a little boost to get your business back online. You're going to be able to do that not only with U.S. Bank, who is here, but also with the Chicago Neighborhood Initiatives Microfinance Group. And Glenn Fulton is here as well and telling us how he's been able to turn some things around in Inglewood with the Inglewood Community Development Corporation. Is that CDC, right? And which is the Small Business Opportunity Center supported by the city of Chicago. Now, Glenn, you have a success story in the studio with us, do you?
I do. And I look at Rachel as kind of the premier person that we're looking for when it comes down to small businesses, because she's very dedicated and she's very committed to her business.
Oh, there you go. Ray, let's welcome Rachel Bernier Green. Did I say that right?
Close enough.
All right, good enough. Thank you. I'll take that. And Rachel, tell us about your business. It's Lane's Bake Shop.
Yes. So Lane's Bake Shop, we've been around for we just celebrated 2 years. So in that 2 years, our pivotal point was really our interaction when we met Glenn from the Greater Inglewood CDC. We had done a pop-up store, and it was our first main event after we'd been around for about a year. And someone from the city of Chicago came up and said, hey, we love these products. We think that you should be in Whole Foods. They're coming to Inglewood. Reach out to the Greater Inglewood CDC.
What are your products?
So we actually carry everything. Our specialties are gourmet decorated cookies. So we have sugar cookies in 12 different flavors, and we do designs that are really unique so that people haven't seen them before. But then when we can kill on the peach cobbler, the banana pudding, the pound cake. So we have the classics covered, but we also have some things you won't see.
And you did a pop-up stores where you get a location and you're just going to be open maybe for a day or two or three and showcasing your stuff, and then you're out of there. You get people a taste of what you do, and they see you get an opportunity to deal with structure, and this is how we got to open up a store and do it the right way.
Right. You're covering marketing, and the best part about it is you get the networking opportunities. So we meet Glenn. He tells us about this opportunity, and I think the great thing about the Greater Inglewood CDC, they have the support system in place, so when you need to work on your business plan, they can help you there. They can help you with the education and acumen that you need, and then they also can connect us with organizations like Chicago Neighborhood Initiatives and U.S.
Bank. And Eva, Rachel was a beneficiary of the accelerated program, right?
Sure. So Rachel, actually, one of the things that we partnered with Greater Inglewood CDC is we noticed that one of the components that business owners needed in Inglewood was a space to work. So if they're looking to grow their businesses and sell their products in places like Whole Foods, they need a place to office out of, have maybe meetings, office space. And so a part of that partnership is helping Greater Inglewood CDC launch their business incubator, which is located in the U.S. Bank building on 63rd Street. So we've donated the whole fourth floor because we understand how important that is for the small business community, and we're happy to partner with the
So basically, U.S. Bank has just camped out a space in Inglewood and said, this is going to be one-stop shopping.
Absolutely.
For this specific interest of people who want to help develop Inglewood, young businessmen, established businessmen. We're going to go into one of the most challenged neighborhoods in the city, and we're camping out space, y'all. And we're bringing everybody together, and we're going to make this happen on the south side of Chicago.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. I love it. It is amazing. And Erica, obviously your partnership in this as well. And what the microfinance component of this is a key and integral part of the whole process of making this happen, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Without the capital, the businesses have no opportunity to grow, and we want to be that entity that provides them with that opportunity.
All right, and so Rachel, I want to get back to you. When you started out, did you have any startup capital at all? How did you go about even entering into the conversation with Glenn and getting going?
It was all completely self-financed initially. So we went into our savings. We used our full-time jobs to help finance it. And then we talked to Glenn and one of his partners, Jim. And we talked to Jim and said, this is where we are. This is what we need. And Jim said, you know what? You need to reach out to Erica at Chicago Neighborhood Initiatives because she'll be the right fit for you because right now you guys need a microloan. And then also providing those relationships so then we know Erica will help us along the way. So then when we're ready to graduate to working with a real bank when we purchase our own property, we already have this relationship with U.S. Bank. So they kind of help you every step of the way.
You know, actually, Rachel should have been sitting here, right? So it goes Rachel to Glenn, right, to Erica, to Eva. You know, and I'm just saying the way this idea was built out, because the microloan helps Rachel then even go to U.S. Bank and say, hey, look, I got a little money to put in the game. And then U.S. Bank looks at you like, oh, yeah, she's serious about this.
It helps us validate our ideas.
Absolutely. She's gone through some counseling, some guidance, and all of that. All right, now look, so Erica, we want people to log on to WVON website to submit their request to get the money and register for the starting line. This is going to be held on June 27th, where 10 small business owners, existing and startups, will compete for a chance to win cash rewards up to $2,500. Tune in for next week's series where you will hear from Erica King. Erica, you coming back?
I am coming back.
All right. Eva, you coming back?
Yes.
All right. Glenn, you can come back anytime too, brother. You know, and there you go. And they're going to help you understand the 5 C's of credit. Oh, that is important because some people are scared to even come to a bank because of their credit. Next week, the 5 C's of credit and how that will help you get the money.